Well, I know this one works. I do know this one works. You guys should be. Oh wait, you guys. Here you go. There we go. No, I wasn't. I wasn't on mute. Well, let's see. You guys can hear me now. I think. Am I very quiet? If I'm too quiet, let me know. Because I've been tinkering around. Audio clear now. Perfect. Oh, is the audio delayed from what I'm speaking? Because that's always there's always this thing when I get on with GT Rain. There's always this delay, especially from audio to video. So if there is anything, if my voice, if the sound is a little off from my voice, seems fine. Perfect. Perfect. That's what I want to hear. If you guys need it louder, you need it quieter, you guys just let me know, okay? Okay? We're all here for to watch a lovely motor race. So it was delayed at the beginning, but better now. Okay. If it gets out of whack, I think I have a little bit more control in OBS than I do on the platform that we use for live streaming the podcast and stuff. So let's roll with it and see where it goes. But yeah, how's everybody doing this morning? We got 12 hours of racing here. We're gonna be around for like the first, I don't know, two, three, first few stints. See how that all plays out, and then of course be back with some videos and stuff later this week or weekend, whatever. But actually, I did want to just touch on some of the qualifying stuff. There were some interesting things that qualifying was interesting yesterday, and I think there's a couple things I want to talk about before the race gets underway here. So I got the qualifying results up by class. So the Sepang race just got exciting. Hey, Eagle Racer. Yeah, you were saying that you went to bed listening to that race. That's a pretty nice way to wake up in the morning. But back here in Sebring, GTP is always interesting, but the GTP qualifying, I don't really know what to make of it because we had the 31 have whatever the incident was that they had. I didn't actually look at the sort of the post qualifying notes as to what that might have been. But pretty unfortunate for them, although like being a 12-hour race is not going to be the end of the world for them. But everybody really not being able to get maybe some of their true flying laps in, like they were very much rushing at the end to try and bring those tires up to temp, get them in that window, and then put down a good lap with them. So I mean, qualifying is not necessarily indicative of what the pace is that we're going to see in the race. So but we did see that BMW was quick sort of all weekend. They're doing a good job. One of the things I talked about sort of in the keys to the race almost, or some of those storylines to follow is BMW going to be able to back up that pace that they showed at the Rolex? And thus far, it certainly looks like they're well on their way to doing that. Now, is it going to be enough for them to challenge for the win today? Maybe. It's certainly going to help if both of those cars can actually be kicking around at the end of this one. But based on the pace that BMW has shown, I think that they're going to be right in the hunt there. That's going to be fun to watch. The same can be said for Meyer Shank. One of the things that I almost talked about in some of those pre-race storylines is, is Meyer Shank going to be able to back up that pace that they had at the Rolex, very much in the same vein as BMW. Again, they're coming back to the sport after a couple of years off, or a year off, sorry, and they looked really, really good at the Rolex. But as we all know, like you can show up and have sort of like a fluky one-off race. It's how you build off of that, and build that program back up, because again, it's been a year off for them. So they've come out. I think they look very, very strong. Meyer Shank Racing, based again on the pace that they've shown this week, if they come through and have another strong race like BMW, don't see a reason why that they couldn't be considered serious championship threats this season. You have the two factory Porsche Penske 963s there, starting third and fourth. Solid, efforts for them. I think it was Nazar who qualified in the 7. He came in, he didn't even do a final lap, so he probably could have gone faster, potentially fast enough to get the pole, but decided to maybe save the tires a little bit, and just start on row 2. It's a 12-hour race. That's completely fine. A couple of surprises. The Proton Competition 963 starting 5th. It's a solid qualifying run for them. One of the things that talked about with GT Rain in the lead up to this race was, there's always going to be late race yellows in this race. I think there were 3 full course yellows in the last hour and 20 minutes of last year's race. So it's going to be huge to watch at the end of this race, what the fuel strategy, how that's developing, and just see how everybody's faring on that front. Because there is a very legitimate chance for a team that maybe doesn't have the same consistent pace as some of the factory efforts. So you're probably really looking at JDC, Proton, maybe Lamborghini as well in this group of, if they can pull off a good strategy, a good tire strategy, pit stop strategy, fuel strategy, most notably at the end of this race, that could really put them in a position for, a win, a podium, something like that. So expect some teams in there to maybe roll the dice a little bit. When it gets down to the end of this race, maybe banking on a full course yellow or something, especially if they're seeing, they're trapped back in, 8th, like last car on the lead lap type thing. Look for one of those cars to kind of throw up a Hail Mary and see if something works. But of course, we have the Aston Martin as well. Their goal is just going to be to run as many laps as they can, and go from there. Sheldon, thunderstorms in Guelph. I hope the power doesn't go out. Thunderstorms, man, it seems early in the year for thunderstorms up here, but I guess that's the way it is. Yeah, hopefully your power doesn't go out, because internet goes down. Can't watch on TV or something. Maybe still be able to get it on your phone or something, but LMP2, we always talk about it. It's kind of a bit of a toss-up. We don't really know what we can expect here. You do have cars like John Ferrano, Alvarez, and Bourdais in Tower, the 8 Tower. Of course, you got to think that they're going to be pretty motivated after their Rolex 24, getting those watches taken away from them. We also, you got to look at the 18 Era Motorsports. They're the defending winners of this race. They know how to do it. This is a completely different lineup. None of these drivers were in this entry for the win last year. But you have a pretty solid lineup here. So they're going to be ones to watch. There's again, you could make a very realistic argument for any of these cars to win in LMP2. Even if you go back to last year, there were a couple cars that, they didn't really have a shot at grabbing the win. You know, the driver lineups were solid, but you know, it was going to take like a lot of things going their way to get even, you know, a podium. But this year, up and down, I really struggle to see one of these lineups that is not capable of winning a race. So what that means for us is it means that LMP2 is going to be fun to watch. Hopefully we get lots of coverage of it in the race, but I guess that remains to be seen. Pulling for the 99, Zono is Garfield Lasagna too. Jeez. In GTD Pro, Ferrari picking up the strong pace that they showed here last year. Of course, they didn't quite get the win in GTD Pro, but they did finish a very close second. I think it was like 1.2 seconds, or was it just under a second to the Vassar Sullivan Lexus last year. I can't remember. But regardless, it was a good battle there at the end of this race. I fully expect the Dragon Speed's going to be right up there in the thick of the hunt. Oh, and what do we have here? What do we have here? Starting in third through fifth, we have the new rivals, Palmilla Racing and Corvette Racing. So you know they get to start right next to each other. I said the racing gods have a funny way of putting rivals together like that. So. How am I going to watch the race? I am in Canada, so I am able to watch it on the Imsa YouTube channel. So I'll be watching it on the YouTube channel. I'd recommend that pull it up on your. I mean, if you're in the States, like Peacock, or otherwise on Imsa's YouTube channel's a pretty safe bet. If you're outside of the U.S. though, or you have a way to quickly travel to another area of the world. Digitally. Vassar Sullivan, of course, defending winners. I skipped over AO Racing, but we all know what AO Racing is capable of. They might have a little bit of an extra chip on their shoulder this week, given the situation that they found themselves in on social media earlier this week. I have heard that Peacock sucks. You're right, Eagle. And it is exclusively on Peacock for this race. It's not on any big network, which I don't know if that's a big plus. But the team that I will be cheering for very hard is Fav. I got my Brian t-shirt on, which I think there might still be some left. The good old Brian. But Fav Motorsports looked strong at the Rolex, just got caught up in that accident, a big accident. So I'm hoping that they can, maybe pull off a little bit of magic that they had here a couple years ago. I don't think anybody expected Ford to be this far down the running order in GTD Pro, but again, it is just qualifying pace. There's a long 12-hour race ahead of us that pays points, unlike qualifying, and then you have Proton rounding out the field. GTD, man, again, GTD, like a toss-up. You want to talk about a toss-up? Here's a toss-up. We've seen Ferrari be strong here before. My pick is for a Ferrari to win in GTD. I think that 021 Triarc that's starting in 8th. That's the one that I'm keeping an eye on for my GTD win. You also got a couple Mercedes up here, Korthoff, Winward. Chentalar has their Ferrari up. Lexus, Heart of Racing, even though they're debuting the Valkyrie this week, but they're also still have that number 27 GTD entry, which is going to be pretty strong. Lots of good entries here. You have the starting a little bit further down the field. But they did have their bronze driver qualify the car, to be fair. So Ore Fadani, the bronze driver there in the AWA Corvette. Of course, they're going to Le Mans later this year. They're coming off the Rolex win. This Wayne Taylor Racing Lamborghini, the 45. Got to keep an eye on that car as well. They showed really good pace at the Rolex. We know that this is a track that Lamborghini has done fairly well at. I think they picked up a 4th and a couple of 5ths between GTD and GTD Pro last year. So keep an eye on them. Oh, we got Imsa in the chat. Imsa official. Shout out to Off in the S's. Shout out to you guys and this great coverage all weekend. It was a lot of fun watching the Pilot Challenge race. Even if you were in the US, you could watch it yesterday on YouTube. So that was fantastic. Fantastic, well done. Hopefully, we'll see some more races like that later this season, maybe. Hopefully. But yeah, so many good GTD entries here as well, and we're almost getting ready. We got cars out on track now for the race. It hasn't started yet, Devin. They've just come out onto the track. What else do we have here? Peacock did have a few great races, but not good normally. Yeah, I guess like the biggest gripe that, as a Peacock viewer that you probably have is that it's just the ads, right? Like that would be the frustrating part. Just the ads. Being streaming only is a plus. Just need to get the times. Fair enough. Yeah, who's everybody's picks? We got Eagle Racer saying they got BMW for GTP and Corvettes in GT. That's strong. That's strong. BMWs look good. I think this is a breakout season for Corvette. So I would say I like those picks. I have I'm going for, who was my pick in? Oh, I picked the 40, the 40 Cadillac, the same car that won last year, that Louis Delatraz, Jordan Taylor, Brendan Hartley, that ride. That's what I was looking for. That would be yeah, that would be good. I'd like to see them win. I think that's going to be a strong car as well. We got Zono that's going with the 6 Porsche in GTP, the 99 in LMP2, and the 64. The Ford, you're thinking that they're going to be, I like it. I like it. Oh, we also have a super chat from 0083. Good morning. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Always much appreciated. Always much appreciated. Everything that the channel brings in helps me get out to more races and hopefully do some more at the track content. So, yeah, it's much appreciated, guys. Much appreciated. And then LMP2, I had the 74 Riley in LMP2. I think it's just at this point, like, just going to keep picking them until they eventually win. Because then, like, they're bound to win at some point, right? We got GTD Pro. Did I pick Faf? Maybe I didn't pick Faf. I can't remember. I'd have to look. I have to go and look back. And then we also have in GTD. GTD, I had, was it Vast or something? I honestly can't remember. Man, the GT classes are just so close. Just so close. It's hard to nail those down. I'll have to open up my notes here. See what see who those picks were. What else do we got here? The any 963 would be cool. So Sheldon, you got a few you got a few bullets to root for then in this one. You got 4 of them that could bring you home, bring you some happiness at the end of this race. That's what I was looking to say. The ads and in-race ads on Peacock can leave no room for the race. That's fair. That is fair. Mohammed, hello Stu, watching from Malaysia as always. So it is 10 p.m. your time, I think. You're like 12 hours ahead, or we just had daylight savings time kick in, so maybe that throws it off a little bit. Justin Kids, I really appreciate that you never use curse words in your video. Keep that going. Thank you, Justin. Thank you. I do try hard to keep it as family friendly as possible, and generally want to try and keep a very positive vibe around the sport. I think it's easy to log on and just be negative about some things that are going on in the sport, especially. Like there have been pieces of news that have come out that have been, not great the past couple seasons. I think it's really important to try and focus on the positives that you can take away from everything. And so yeah, try and keep everything as positive as I can. And I know sometimes in some interviews, for instance, there might be a couple of words that get thrown out from some of the guests, but definitely nothing terrible. Devin, here we go. We got JP. How's it going, JP? Hope you're doing well. Use in-cars. Oh, like in videos. It's difficult to find the in-cars after the race because they're not really posted up anywhere. Usually there's a YouTube channel that kind of records them all, but can be difficult to find sometimes. And especially they might not be uploaded immediately after the race too. Hello, watching from Denmark. Go Magnussen and Vesti. You got some fellas to cheer for as well. When is NASCAR going to be on subscription only? Seems like they're kind of taking a step there, a little bit, but especially with some of their Xfinity Series coverage. Indeed, it is 10 p.m. here. Godspeed, Acura. P.S. Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, spoiler alert for anybody that's not watching F1 qualifying. Yuki Tsunoda had a good qualifying effort in Australia. Oh, it looks like we're about to go green here. Easy to curse at Imsa safety car procedures. You're not wrong sometimes. You're not wrong. About to be half watching the race, half practice laps at Road America for an AMS endurance race. Ooh, are you at Road America right now? That would be chilly, I would think, right? Is there not still snow on the ground at Road America? And we got green flags showing on the timing and scoring. I love it. BMW might... Oh, BMW, they changed lanes before the start-finish line, but that would be a disaster if the 24... Oh, we got a big lockup from Proton. But everybody's made it through pretty clean. That's good to see. Oh, sim racing. Okay. I was like, man. And here we go. GTD through turn 1. I can't remember the last time we've had a clean go-through of turn 1 here. Like, a couple of years ago, we had an LMP3 that went around. Oh, that was just a lockup. I got my camera like right in front of my face. Gonna move the stream tab down a little bit. But yeah, good that we see that we see a clean first lap. I guess if we just have one spinner, that's fine. We are so back. And finally, that V12 is moving. Yes. Alright, looks like it looks like the some of the tires might be a little bit rubbed on the side of that car. Oh, did they get a little bit of help? Oh no, that's on Ore there. I just don't think he thought he was all the way there. We got to remember that that incident is under review. Well, okay, actually, you know what? To be fair, Ore did have the position going into the corner. I don't know. I'd argue that it's probably a racing incident. I like AWA a lot, but so that's not bias. There's no bias in that saying it's a racing incident. Both drivers could have done things to avoid that, I think. Is that am I wrong in saying that? I wonder why we don't have. Oh, there. I was just gonna say. I wonder why we don't have the timing and scoring up on the Imsa stream. And then as soon as I went to say that, it pops up. Love to see it. Okay, I found my picks. I am going. Oh yeah, the 021 in GTD. I talked about that a minute ago. GTD Pro. Oh yeah, I picked the number 3 Corvette. I also got on the Corvette train along with Eagle Racer on this one. I mean, yeah, I wonder, you know, last year at Sebring, we saw that opening lap, like out of turn one incident where, the two McLarens made contact, everything like that. I wonder if, well, actually, I don't really wonder because I'm pretty sure that this is the case. Like, I think we're going to see hopefully fewer like some of those early race incidents, especially between the GTDs, as we have two LMP2s off in the cabbage. 70 got incident responsibility, so that Ferrari was deemed responsible for the incident. Interesting. I hope that 18's not stuck. Oh no, full course yellow. Ugh, full course yellow. At least it's a short yellow. It's a short yellow. It's a short yellow. I want to see. Oh, do we have a replay of that yet? I don't think we do. I called it, guys. I called the false. I called the changing lane penalty on the BMW right off the get-go. I said it looked like he moved over to block the Acura before the start-finish line, and sure enough, he did. That's a huge mistake. And if this man, like, it's a long race. I understand that, but like these are the mistakes that, like, none of the other GTP teams are making these mistakes. Like, that hurts. That hurts. It hurts if you're a BMW fan. That's for sure. Drive-through penalty for the number 24 false start changing lanes. There you go. And then you also have the car 70 incident responsibility. They're showing the replay. That's a clear-cut penalty. Like, it's unnecessary to do. There was no point in, yeah. So Eagle Racer, I don't think this is an instance where the car is too close to the track, I think, for the VSC, right? Like, I remember, so I made a video on like what it would, if IMSA were to implement like a code 60 or a VSC, and I went back and I looked at every full course yellow from like up until Road America or something last year. And I think like we could have saved like 17 full course yellows or something ridiculous like that. But I mean, when you have 11 full course yellows in last year's Sebring race, like, I think I don't have a problem with a safety car for an incident like this, because the car is pretty close to the track. Like, that's fine. I do have problems when, like last year, when we were seeing Ford lose the rear bumper all the time, and that would have to be a full course yellow. Like, that is very easy for, like, the track workers going, picking that up in a couple seconds, and it's gone. Like, that is perfect for a VSC. Oh no. The 45 has a problem. One of the guys on this team is a big friend of the show. Big friend of the show. I was talking to him at the Rolex about what he helps to do the wrap on the car and everything, and just how annoying that chrome wrap is. You got to make sure that you don't, like, if you get a wrinkle in it or something, the whole thing is just garbage. It's very difficult to work with. So whenever you see a chrome car, like, appreciate it that much more. Let's see. We had a couple messages here. Ryan Hand. What's up, Stu? Hope all is well today. What's your cold beer of choice for watching races? So right now it is 10 o'clock or 20 after 10 local time. So I'm just drinking a little Tim Hortons here. They got a contest going on. It's called Roll Up. It used to be called Roll Up the Rim to Win. Now it's just called Roll Up to Win. So maybe later in the stream we'll see if I win, like, they got the Volkswagen van as one of those prizes. Like an ATV would be pretty sick, right? I don't know if you can. Yeah, I guess you can kind of bring those to the races, but maybe I'll win a TV or a van on stream. If I win the van, I'll tell you what, I'll get it wrapped in like an Off in the S's wrap, okay? And that'd be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. Otherwise, if I'm having a cold beverage, there's some good. There's a brewery just down the street from me called here in Toronto that's called Left Field, and they make some solid brews. Also helps I'm a big baseball fan, so actually you can see over here all these hats that are behind me. Like, well, there's one that's like a Dale Jr. hat, because big Dale Jr. fan when I was a kid, but all of them are like baseball hats. So, big Blue Jays fan. Lexus GTD cars looked much faster yesterday than at Daytona. I listened to a podcast with Kyle Kirkwood and complained about their BOP adjustments at Daytona and how it slowed them. That's fair. I think, to be honest, like, the Lexus has never really been strong at Daytona. It doesn't have the same power that, like, the Mercedes does, for instance. Like, Mercedes, we regularly see them winning at the Rolex. We've seen Ferrari, be strong. Lexus doesn't have as much power compared to a lot of them. So it's not terribly surprising that they don't do well there. I know the BOP does factor into that a little bit, but we also know it's easy for the drivers to complain about BOP. So it can be taken with a grain of salt, but this is definitely a track that's much more suited to the Lexus for sure. Yeah, Black Hat, you think it's a bad call? Did you think it was a bad call on the on the Inception Racing Ferrari? You still want to say McLaren? I know, it's so weird that they're not McLaren anymore. I agree. I think that was just a racing incident, but I mean, to be fair, like, yeah, I don't know. Ore came down a little bit, but also you could make the argument that corner is kind of like a double apex. Because I think that what corner number is that? That's turn 5, which is like right here. If you can see my mouse on the little map, I'm pretty sure it was coming out of here where it happened. And it's kind of like a later apex, so you get a good run through Big Bend. But yeah, I mean, the same thing with the BMW. At least it happened early for them. It looks like we're going to go back green here soon. Not the Ferrari's fault he was owed that lane. Again, that's fair. That's fair. I think it's a racing incident. Yeah. From pole to penalty. I'm friends with somebody on WTR's GTP 40 car and the Lexus team. There you go. There's lots of, you just wander around the paddock, you get talking with some people, and, yeah, pretty easy to strike up some, build some friendships in the paddock, Not just a chrome wrap. Well, I mean, yeah, any of the wraps are difficult to work with for sure. I'm a Dale Senior fan. I grew up in a Dale Senior fan household, so have a few die casts myself. So, what happened to Blomqvist there? Really didn't get a good restart, eh? You got to think that Nazar is not going to push the issue here because they know that the 24 has to come down pit road. Car 45 entered a closed pit. Yes, they did. Did we see those two LMP2s come into the pits yet? I don't think we did. Did they both opt to stay out until it goes green again? That's... yeah. Hmm. Yeah, so the BMW is going to come down. Why? Huh. Oh, you went to school with them. Oh, motorsports engineering. So that makes sense that you would have some connections there in the paddock. And here comes the BMW to serve the drive-through. That's gonna drop them back into the GTD field. Kind of right into the middle of GTD, maybe. I think the 18 came into the pits, and they got that fixed. They're a lap down, though. Oh, and the 45 is a lap down as well. Oh, man, that BMW is going to have to navigate through all of this GT traffic now. Oh, the 88 got the penalty for, improperly served emergency service obligation. Stop plus 10, because they came and took emergency service, but when you take emergency service, you have to come back down pit road and serve a drive-through? Is it? I'm not sure. Like, improperly served... Yeah, so you do have to come and do a drive-through, I think, after that. What's your favorite race / track? Well, I do have to... I love CTMP. Like, it's my home track. It's an old school track, which I like. I I'll acknowledge that I'm very biased and I like CTMP. I mean, you gotta give honorable mention though, like Road America, great track as well. Daytona, such a unique place to go and see a race. Lots of good ones out there, and plenty that I still have yet to go to. But yeah, I think I like I think I'll go with CTMP. Favorite race though? Man, that's tough. Like, that's tough. As a spectator, like at the race, like the Rolex is pretty great. I think probably is the Rolex the best spectator track though? Like maybe. Yeah, I mean, not very many tracks you can see the whole thing from the whole track from one spot, and you can definitely do that up in the grandstand. So I'll go with the Rolex for being at the track and viewing. If I'm watching it on TV, I mean, I do love Sebring. I haven't been to a Sebring in person, so that's hopefully next year is when that's gonna happen. That's what I'm going for. Sebring 2026. The Nordschleife. Can't. Yep. Never been, but watching it on TV, it's a spectacle. That's for sure. I also got to make it over to Le Mans at some point. It's one of these years I'll make it over. Too bad about Peacock. Just a shame. Oh no, you guys getting slammed with a ton of ads over on Peacock? Favorite track for road course is Indianapolis Raceway Park. I didn't know that IRP had a road course. Huh. Interesting. I honestly didn't know that. Because I know IRP for the oval, but not for the road course. Hey, wait a second. The Valkyrie isn't in last. Why is the 10 so far back? What happened to the 10? The 10 Cadillac. No! Why can't Faf have anything nice? Is this the same incident that the 45 had? Oh, no, they're taking off the... well... Man... Mechanical black flag. Torque sensor issue. Oh, there's a Ferrari off. Is that the pole sitter? That's the pole sitter in GTD. They were leading. What happened? Piriguidi as well. Like, that's... Man. I'm still sad about Plaid. Looks like he just overcooked it. What happened? Maybe if Faf can... They just like missed his braking point, it looked like. Or hopefully that's not a brake issue, but... I wonder if they're going to box, like... It looked like it was carrying way too much speed into that corner. Yeah, he's coming in. I bet you there's like a brake issue or something. Okay, so Faf is back out there. Faf looks like they're only a lap down. Faf is only a lap down because the 45 is only a lap down, and Faf is still going to be ahead of the 45. So Faf isn't done yet. They're not dead. My Plaid people. Yeah, there's something mechanical with the 21 that caused that to happen. Because this is a Piriguidi is one of their their factory driver, right? Okay. Lucas would say Le Mans favorite track, pretty basic choice, but the best. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Le Mans being your favorite. Imsa went in 1986 to IRP, eh? Huh. The more you know. I didn't know. Favorite team in GTP? I don't really have a favorite team in GTP, to be honest. I mean, it's difficult to not root for the Valkyrie now because just so beautiful, sounds so good. Um, so yeah, I you know, maybe the Valkyrie, but honestly, it's. I mean, right now, I do want to see Meyershank Racing come back and like win a race, and because they serve their time, like they've paid their penalties, right? Oh yeah, their brake issue for sure on the 21. Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. Huh. That's a really quick like brake assembly change. You gotta That's insane. Like just unscrews, but like unbolt it and bolt it back on. Um, Fafa's had zero luck since 2022. Yeah, they since that first year of GTD Pro when they won that championship, they haven't had much going their way. That's for sure. Mid edge and snap. I think we know now that it was something braking related. Respect the bumps. Faf keeps changing car manufacturers. They do. They do. For various various reasons. Um, Mostly from my understanding of it is just lack of support. Oh, we got another car around. We saw a bazillion GS cars around in the opening laps yesterday, so hopefully this isn't a trend that continues. Oh, did he get some help? Oh, yeah, a little bit of argy bargy there. That is probably going to be a penalty for the 32. There's probably a reasonable argument to be made that, but like, I mean, the 32 is probably pushing the issue a little bit. It's a little bit excessive, maybe, at this point in the race. Mind you, they are fighting for the GTD race lead, so. But yeah, FAF keep changing car manufacturers. Yeah, just not great supports. I mean, you could look at the driver lineup that they have right here for this race, and you could point to them having some pretty darn good support from Lamborghini on the driver front for that this year. So I do think that they were pretty pleased coming in the lead up to the Rolex. Incident between cars 21 and 57 under review. So did the 21 and the 57 make contact before the 21 went off? Maybe? And then incident involving the 32 and the 20 under reviews. That was the incident that we just saw. And yeah, Devin saying Porsche at fault. That's fair. They're not going to give Porsche the penalty for that, though. If they do think that they're at fault, then that would be a racing incident. I think it also, you could argue it's maybe a racing incident, but you also could argue that, like the 32 lunged to get the nose just in that far. So, like, were they truly close enough to make the lunge for that position? You could probably argue they weren't. And Windward has it. Windward has the lead. They have the lead. The Valkyrie sounds insane. That it does. That it does. I can't wait to hear it at Watkins Glen later this summer. I do look forward to hearing it there. Imsa admin just commented in the chat over there. V2 furry. the admin crew there is good. They have a fun time in the chat. Is it just me, or does the Aston Martin look a little bit uncomfortable? I agree. It looks like very high off the ground. And maybe it's just because we're not used to seeing it yet, but I don't know. Like, I guess all the GTPs aren't like super locked to the ground, but oh, IMSA Official has a live in-car of the Valkyrie on their YouTube channel right now. Yeah, Zono. If you're at the Glen, definitely say hi. I'll definitely be doing a meetup. Definitely be doing a meetup. Oh, they have 3 live streams on the IMSA channel right now. They have the Valkyrie on board, and they have one of the Corvettes, and those ones might be available for everyone. It might not be limited to just the US. Just the Valkyrie in my ears is a nice touch. It's a nice touch. Robert, welcome to being a bronze driver. Welcome to the bronze driver. Thank you for the support. All of the support, guys, is even if you're just here in the chat or lurking and following along, you know, like, much appreciated. I said it earlier, but you know, anything the channel helps to get me out to some more races, do some more at the track content. Definitely some stuff that I would love to be able to do in the paddock. You know, this later this summer. So yeah, again, all of the support is very much appreciated, and so we, you know, go for another. It's 2025. We're going for another great season ahead of us here. But yeah, Zono, if you're at the Glen, I'll definitely do a meetup at the Glen. We'll watch like one of the support races, stuff like that. But I'll be kicking around all weekend. I'll also be at, I think I'm gonna make it out to Detroit, probably just for the race day though, because that's drivable in a day from Toronto, and I'm hoping Indy is going to work. No Road America this year, sadly. Everybody that I know is getting married, so everybody likes to get married on race weekends. So, oh, and then I'll be at CTMP, but I'll miss Saturday at CTMP. You'll be at the Battle of the Bricks, Eagle Racer? Well, I am planning to be there, so I'm hoping to be in Indy for the whole week and maybe drop in, you know, in the days leading up to the race and do some tours at some of the IMSA shops that are there. As Indy's a little bit of a hub for some of that. You got like Wayne Taylor Racing there, RLL. Brian Herta Autosports. So I want to try and, you know, stop in, do some shop tours there. IMSA Official just lurking in the chat here. We'll see you at Detroit and Indy. Heck yeah, you will. And CTMP and Watkins Glen. Well, unless if IMSA Official's not going to Watkins Glen or something, but you know, I don't think I would count on that. I think they'll probably be there. Car 21 got incident responsibility with 57, but they got a warning, not a drive-through. Interesting. Incident responsibility with the 57, but they got a warning. Interesting. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, confusing communication here. The 32 and the 20 was reviewed, no action. So again, that's probably the 32 and the 20. Like they deemed that the 20 was probably more at fault there, maybe, or just a racing incident. But I don't know if I've ever seen incident responsibility be handed out, but no drive through. No, Imsa official still kicking around here. Don't know how you managed to be in so many streams. They're always watching. Like, who's the in Toy Story? I'm always watching you, Wazowski. Always watching you. That's a certain. It's a generation that'll know that one. Know that reference. A couple of years ago, my cousin decided to get married the weekend of Watkins Glen, and it was hard to miss so much of that whole weekend. Yeah. I think I'm probably... Chances are very high that I'm missing Petite this year. No, I know it's from Monsters, Inc., Black Hat. But what is it? Like, who's that character from Monsters, Inc.? That says that. She's like a giant slug lady. Yeah, so I'm probably going to miss Petite because of a wedding and missing Road America because of a wedding. So, yeah. Way she goes. It's the way she goes. IMSA admin has 12 monitors. The IMSA admin actually has just commandeered race control, and they just put up, all the different streams in race control. They're like, race control don't need to make any decisions. That's why race control got a bit confused in initially giving out a drive-through penalty and then revoking it. That's why. How do I watch the broadcast live, Peter? Peter, I guess it depends on what country you're in. If you want to put into the chat what country you're in, we can probably help you out. If you're in the States, you can watch on Peacock, and that's about it. Roz. Yes, everybody is jumping in saying Roz from Monsters, Inc. Bingo. There we go. I'm always watching you, Wazowski. Hey, Stu, be careful mentioning AO Racing. Now. It's all fun. Well, it's not fun. It sucks that all of that happened. I don't think we want to, I don't think, it's one mistake that they made, right? I agree. I initially very much agreed that, like, what are you guys doing? Like, it was unnecessary to like even say that in the first place to the fan, and it was unfortunate, but I think at a certain point, like, the internet needs to forgive them. It wasn't the actual team that did this, right? It was somebody that manages their social media. It was clearly obviously it was a mistake. Hopefully they've learned their lesson and everybody moves on. Like, I think we can't let that one moment overshadow all the good that AO Racing has done for the sport in general over the past few years. Because you know what we're going to look back on here in 15, 20 years, we're going to have whatever version of YouTube or whatever version of this exists in 15 or 20 years. You're going to have people that are saying, like, oh, I became a fan when I went to the track and saw the dinosaur car. Like, we're going to have a generation that, like, that's who they grew up cheering for, right? Like, I was cheering for the dinosaur cars, and that is, like, like, introducing and having, like, a real genuine creating genuine interest for a younger audience of fan that we, in a sport that we see is dominated by generally middle-aged, the middle-aged sort of demographic. I think it's really important. I think the work that AO Racing has done to attract that younger audience, like, that can't be overlooked with this one mistake moment, right? Yeah, Zono, if you can check it out. The whole thing is on, like, it's well documented on Reddit, right? It's well documented on Reddit. And I know the internet never forgets. So the internet never forgets, for sure. But you know, mistakes were made. Learn from the mistakes and move on, right? Like, this wasn't the end of the world. Nobody ultimately got hurt from this. Yeah. AO Racing could have handled it better, though, in the aftermath, for sure. I think if they had handled it better, then we wouldn't be talking about it really right now. Right? If they come out immediately and they just say, hey, guys, we messed up. We messed up. So, then yeah. Oh, Peter's message is gone. Peter, did you figure out how to watch it? I hope so. Yeah, you can listen live anywhere via Imsa Radio, but if you're still here, you can check it out on YouTube. Hopefully you found a way to watch it. Have a drive-through when trying to gift a membership to... Wait. Have a drive-through when trying to gift a membership to Off in the S's. Imsa Official just asked the YouTube chat. Admin is curious. I am watching on a VPN. Yes or no? 13% so far have admitted to yes. Okay, good. I think it sounds like Peter... I hope you found it, Peter. I hope you found it. So, no, I don't know what you're trying to say. Are you saying that every time there's a drive-through, we need a membership gifted? You know, I know sometimes the chats can get crazy with this kind of stuff. So you guys do you. I used to do some Twitch streaming, like, way back in the day. Funny story. I guess we got a 12-hour race ahead of us here, and we're still early on. There's limited stuff that's happening, so I can kind of talk about actually how the Off in the S's channel even came to be. The stream is not working on the website. No affix. MGK, can you watch it on YouTube? It should be working on YouTube. Yeah, if you're trying to watch it on imsa.tv, they also have it streamed on YouTube for the international, the non-US audience. Yeah, I guess it might be limited for a few other countries as well, but 14% watching on a VPN. As we have another spinner here. This is the Pratt Miller LMP2. Can't watch on YouTube, only can see the onboard streams. Are you in the States, MGK? What country are you located in? Because I think if you can't watch it on... If you can't watch it online, like on YouTube, then you... Oh, that... Okay, the 73, I think, would probably be at fault here. Oh, the 74 round 2? No, Gar! Woohoo! You're located in the Netherlands. Anybody know if the Netherlands has the... Oh, Gar just lost it. No, Gar! Let's see. I have the IMSA website up here, so I can look for you. How to watch international coverage. How to watch in the Netherlands. Unfortunately, yeah, because it's blocked for you in the Netherlands, MGK. It's Vodafone Ziggo that's broadcasting the event. And you'll also have Dutch commentary and a roving reporter as well. So I don't know if you have access to that. That might be it. Otherwise, it's probably that 3-letter word. Yeah. Well, that it can transport you to another area of the world, and you can answer Imsa admin's poll. I mean, El Noob, you could also use that 3-letter word to teleport to Canada. That's how I'm watching it. There's many countries that it works for. Oh, what did I just do? Okay, back chat. Zono, oh, you made a typo and you forget you were trying to say. Yeah, MGK, you're yeah. That sucks. That sucks. It sucks. I know some of these countries that have the broadcast on them. I guess we're starting pit stops, eh? LMP2 pit stops. Yeah, some of these countries that have the broadcast, you're still able to watch it on IMSA TV. It's not an exclusive sort of partnership, but yeah. Instant transmission isn't 3 letters. Okay, so we do have some we're only going to see the LMP2s come in. We still have probably another 20 minutes before we're seeing the rest of the field come down pit road. Car 66, incident responsibility with the 73 drive-through. Interesting. But the 66 wouldn't have been trying to pass the 73 there. I don't know. IMSA has more angles at this than we do, so maybe the 66 just overbroke. In Canada, we do have the free YouTube stream, yes. So, yeah, for like us in Canada, we technically do have an official broadcast partner called Rev TV, which is a paid channel. But they just broadcast like the IMSA international stream. And but we're also able to watch it on IMSA TV and on YouTube, everything like that. So, yeah. Yeah, MGK, so you were watching qualifying yesterday. Yeah, it's probably just blocked for the race. Because they probably didn't broadcast the qualifying. So it's very unfortunate. I know IMSA is working on a site revamp, I believe, like a total rebuild of everything. Part of me is hoping that they'll consider putting on like some sort of a stream subscription maybe that you could pay for. Kind of like WEC does with their coverage, but like ad-free. So you could watch it truly ad-free in the States. But I mean, who knows, right? Yeah, you can get a free one. You can get a free instant transmission teleporter that'll work just fine. Or like a trial or something, right? I wonder what the minimum drive time is here for these AM classes. Do they have drive time on this? No, this is the schedule. Minimum drive time, GTP and GTD Pro is 2 hours. LMP2 and GTD is 4 hours and 30 minutes is minimum drive time. 4.5 hours. That's a decent amount of time. Still can't watch WEC in the US because Max. Well, Eagle Racer, at least you have a channel that covers the WEC for you in the US. Like, so when I was trying to watch the first round of the WEC season, it's blocked. There's, well, okay. We don't have access to Max here in Canada, or not at least not anything that we could watch it live on. So yeah, we don't have access to Max. And the only way that I could, the channel that was supposed to be viewing it or supposed to be broadcasting it, like we had all the races last year on, it was a channel called Discovery Velocity. And that kind of, they rebranded that channel this year and everything. But it was literally being broadcast nowhere. The only way that I could watch the race, somewhat legally, is paying for WEC TV, which I had to do. Which is ridiculous. And even still, with WEC TV, I won't be able to watch the Coda round. And I won't be able to watch the 24 Hours of Le Mans on it, because apparently those are being broadcast on a channel here. So it's wild. It just doesn't make sense. It's such an era for sports car racing, and I just wish that, you know, it was easier for everybody to watch this, right? Like, IMSA broadcasting these on YouTube for the majority of the world is fantastic. But for a lot of people, it's a big pain in the butt. Right? Like, we have MGK, you know, so just finding out that Ziggo, they blocked the stream and they're only broadcasting the final 2 hours. Like, it's wild. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's a nice little battle here in GTD Pro for the race lead. Oh yeah. 4 hours and 30 minutes is a lot of drive time for a 12-hour race? Is that right? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, minimum drive time for LMP2 and GTD is 4 hours and 30 minutes? But it's a 12-hour race. If you have 3 drivers, guys, does that math doesn't math. Huh? Hell, I'm gonna have to pull up the. Is this the sporting regulations? I think. Regulations IMSA 2025. Because, like, this doesn't make sense. Drive time. Is it the technical regulations? IMSA technical regulations. 2025 technical regulations. Drive No, that's not. It's definitely not the technical regulations. What would this be? Time? Oof. Drive. There's like 400 instances of... Oh, drive time. Page 43. Page 43. It can't be 4.5 hours. Like, that doesn't make sense. Drive time. It doesn't have it here. Drive time during red flag. Oh, here we go. Sebring minimum drive time for the GTD class is 3 hours. That is also for LMP2. Why does it say 4.5 on the notice board? Okay. That makes sense. 3 hours is more reasonable. It's basically a triple stint. Oh, no! And that's going to be a full course. Yeah, that's a big hit. That's a big hit for Triarc. Yikes. This is like a weird spot to go off. How did you end up there? What a weird spot. That's going to take a few minutes to get that barrier positioned back. Oh, they get a little help? I think they did. Oof. Wow. Literally, the Triarc did nothing wrong there. That's definitely a bump. Wow. Kind of a bad look. Kind of a bad look. El Noob, why is Cadillac underperforming this season? Well, maybe incidents like that. I wouldn't say... I mean, we're an hour into the second race of the season. Yeah, an hour into the second race of the season. So I don't know if I'm going to go and say that they're underperforming yet. But we got to remember that they're Wayne Taylor Racing. Oh, he looks pissed. Understandably so. Understandably so. I wouldn't say that, yeah, Cadillac is underperforming. Yeah. Yeah, it's been one race. It's going to take them a little bit of time, but they did show they showed positive signs until Delatraz got caught out on those old tires. You know? At the Rolex, right? And had that big accident. So, yeah. Yeah, the Qatar collision, yeah, just look away. That's not underperforming, though. That's just a stupid mistake. Right? Like, that's all that is. That was a hard hit. I'm wondering if Wayne Taylor is memeing. Crazy. I remember 9 years ago, Imsa allowed everyone in the U.S. to watch Daytona live, in addition to the coverage Fox Sports offered. But at Sebring, they geo-blocked it and had to watch on Fox instead. Yeah. Hey, I mean, there's been some huge steps forward that Imsa's made in the coverage, I think. Like, the availability of the coverage. You got to remember this race weekend last year was the first time that they were broadcasting stuff on YouTube. They broadcast like the Super Trofeo race, I think, on YouTube. Maybe a Porsche Carrera Cup race as well. But yeah, we got to remember that like it hasn't even been a year since they've been broadcasting WeatherTech on YouTube for an international audience. So there's improvements to be done for sure. For sure. Concrete block is moved. Okay, but WEC is going to be different because Joda has to learn the car. Yeah, Joda has to learn the car. I mean, Wayne Taylor Racing has to learn the car too, right? Like they've been in Acura, like they've been with Acura for 3 years, has it? So, like for a while. Oh, interesting. This is how they're deciding to do this. Oh. Which 3-letter teleporter do I recommend? Gonna get it now. I personally have used Surfshark in the past just because there was a wicked deal on it. So it ended up costing me, like 60 cents a month or something. So that's the one that I've used in the past, but there are free ones out there. I'm sure a quick Google search should give you a decent recap on like what some of the best free ones are. I guess WRT2, but you still have Action Express. Yeah, you do still have Action Express, you're right. And Action Express had that accident at the Rolex, that hard hit into the wall. It's interesting that we didn't have everybody come into the pits on that last. Like the 7 and the 6 stayed out. The 60, like the Porsches and the Acuras stayed out. That doesn't make sense. You're going to have all of the GTD and GTD Pro cars who haven't made a pit stop come in, I would think. But the pits aren't open for the GTs yet. So what this should mean is it means that Faf, the 21 Ferrari, and the 45 Lamborghini, they're all going to get their lap back. They're going to stay out on the GT when the GT pits open. They're going to get their lap back, and then they're going to come back in later. Like after they take the wave around, maybe they'll come back right after that and top up. Or they're gonna assume that we're going to maybe see it play out for a little bit. I don't know. in the Imsa YouTube chat, somebody just asked if the forklift driver is an AM or a pro. Oh, there we go. I wanted to. This doesn't really. Okay, we'll leave this side thing a little bit. There we go. I wanted to be able to. Oh, I got the top of this cut off. There we go. Also, another fun way to follow along, and I'll post this in the chat, is you can follow along with the fuel levels in the GTP cars. Actually, can you? They don't. It's not in GTD yet. But the virtual fuel levels you can see at the link that I just put in the chat. Okay, so expected that, yeah, those 3 cars. Oh man, one of the Paul Miller Racing cars stayed out, which is gonna screw Faf. Or maybe they'll still be able to take the wave round. No, they'll still get the free wave round, I guess. Will they? Maybe not, though. But we're definitely going to see the 45 and the 21 get their lap back. 18 Aero Motorsports is kind of stuck here. They're a lap down. Thoughts on the 2026 calendar now that it's been released? Yeah, I like it. I like the change, to be honest. As I said earlier, I am planning to go to the Indy round later this year. That'll be my first time at Indy. That'll be my first time at Indy, so I'm looking forward to that. But I think Road America, having been there last summer and, hearing from the fans and, seeing the turnout that was there, there's no doubt in my mind that Road America deserves an endurance round. Like, no doubt in my mind that they deserve the endurance round, and I think it's very justified. So overall, I like the changes to the calendar. I would still like to see GTPs back at CTMP. I kind of thought, the Penske's and the Acuras did miss their call. Wow, that's a big mistake. I wonder if they thought that the pits were closed or something like that, right? Like they I wonder if I can't remember. Sometimes there's a in the driver briefing. Oh, this is the Rolex 24 driver briefing. Oh, that's why my times were off, and I was seeing 4.5 hours of minimum drive time. I was looking at the Rolex 24 minimum drive time. Um, but yes, to finish up that thought, Samuel, I like the calendar for next year overall. I'm gonna do a video on it that'll be out later this week, but yeah, I'll talk more about my thoughts on the calendar and all that stuff. I'm just checking the driver briefing because I wonder if maybe there's a pit signal light that was showing as closed. Pit lane speed limit, pit closed repeater light. So it is located in a spot that they should have been able to see, but I wonder if it was just marked as closed. It's kind of odd. Most of the races this weekend were on YouTube in the US. Yes, I think everything was qualifying on in the US as well. I think that Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac might be getting a new nose from the little bit of contact that they made. That incident is under review. Incident under review for the 10 and the 023. Yeah, Blackhead, we talked about that they potentially missed the call to pit. I wonder if the pit closed light was on. Oh, it sounds like the pit entry light was closed. Oh, it was. Huh. Okay, this is interesting. I wonder if we're gonna see a couple of extra laps put on here to this full course yellow. Yeah, 'cause they're talking about on the IMSA feed right now that if the pit if it was a mistake by race control, then they could reorder the field. So they may do that. Because it's just odd that yeah they wouldn't have come in. I think that I would not be surprised if this gets changed. Da da da. Yeah, because it is very unfair. Yeah, they are bringing the. Okay, well, this is the class split. So they would be doing the class split first. Like, this would be part of the procedure. And then they could do a separate GTP class split. Where they let the Acuras and the Porsches by. Or they might do nothing. Who knows? Who knows? Lamborghini's leading. That is an odd one for sure. Lamborghini did not... Oh, no, they did come into the pits. What was their last pit time? It was 1 minute and 13 seconds. That's... I don't know how the Lamborghini got out first. Yeah, total pit time, last pit time. I don't know. Lambo's leading. Wayne Taylor Racing better be penalized. I think they will be. I think race control's a little busy with something else right now. Let's see, who got back on the lead lap? Oh, Faf got back on the lead lap as well because they took the wave around. So a lot of cars back on the lead lap. The only car that's not on the lead lap is the 023 Ferrari that we just saw wreck. So yeah, keep an eye on the little box here at the bottom of the live timing where it says RC and then it has the incident there. That's where the any penalty will pop up. I guess to go back to the calendar though, like I would like to have seen I would have liked to see CTMP get, of course, their the GTPs back, but that's a little bit biased to myself. I also and I thought that maybe they would rotate like the LMP2 headline race, maybe, but we're getting the Lamborghini bringing this back to green. Who'da thunk, eh? Who'da thunk? Oh, we're lucky that that wasn't a huge accident. What happened? Grosjean, gas is on the right, sir. We're lucky that that wasn't a huge wreck. Yeah, if anybody gets a penalty for that, I might riot, guys. I need a spot to put some Sebring notes in here. This is an interesting restart. That's so weird. I want to see a replay of that restart, please. Because like, what on earth happened? Nazar has had a brilliant restart, right? After being a little bit screwed on that full course yellow. Very screwed, actually. Okay, here's the restart. It's like he just never went. Oh my god. Did that 31, did they gain like 8 spots? The number 10 Wayne Taylor Racing got the penalty for the incident with the 023. That's a stop plus 60-second penalty. They are going to lose a lap for that. Probably. Well, almost. So the 10 got a big penalty there. The 14, Vassar Sullivan Lexus. What? The penalty just went away. What happened? Okay, the Vassar Sullivan Lexus number 14 got a penalty for tire without crew. So they had a tire roll away, I think. I think that's what it would be. Oh, the number 10's already is a lap down anyways. So they had problems. Well, it's a drive-through penalty and they have to stop for 60 seconds in the penalty box. I agree, El Noob, that that's a little bit maybe a little soft. But again, IMSA has more access to telemetry and things like that than we do. So they could see if, if the 023 slowed up more than usual, maybe through that section. Um, yeah. Yeah. WRT got penalized. Nazar is bringing us back after IMSA sold us. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that aren't big NASCAR fans. And that's fair. It's not for everybody. But one thing that NASCAR does really well, and especially they've done really well the past few seasons, is explain some of their race control decisions. Whether it's explaining a penalty, owning up to a mistake. We've seen that trickle down to IMSA a little bit, but it's not like it is in NASCAR. And I would love to see IMSA take a little bit more control of that and speak to some of these maybe controversial calls that have been made or mistakes. And if they made a mistake, own up to it. Like, so yeah. So the Lamborghini, it wasn't a car problem. The team just didn't let him know that it was back to green. They were just delayed on the green call. I Again, it's Riley's second race with that car. They're still getting. Then to be fair, they only had an hour under their belt at the Rolex, so they've already lasted longer in this race than they did at the Rolex. So, oh yeah, I get them mixed up all the time. No, but I would I would love to see Imsa take a bit of a step forward in regards to in regards to talking about some of the penalties that are handed out and give us a little bit more insight as to why certain decisions were made. No, that's the Wayne Taylor Racing penalty. Oh, nice battle in GTD Pro, man. Guys, I'm telling you, like we we the GTD Pro is I feel like is going to be the class to watch this year at IMSA. It is so close. There are so many good teams and so many good drivers. Like, man, I said this coming out of the Rolex. I think that this is like the first year that it's like you really are getting some of those like peak GTLM vibes out of this class, where you like the battles are insane. It's just like the drivers up and down the field are so talented, and it seems like the racing is going to back that up. Am I going to any races this year, Sam? So I've been to the Rolex already. That seems like it's going to be locked in on my calendar for the foreseeable future. Next race that I'm hoping to go to is Detroit. Planning to go to Detroit just for race day, because it's drivable from here in a day. I mean, it's not a short drive. It's like 3.5, 4 hours, maybe. But it's doable. So, hoping Detroit. And then CTMP, of course. But I'll be missing a day of CTMP, but that's not a huge deal. Watkins Glen. And hopefully... Oh, we got 3 wide for the race lead? Probably wise that the Corvette backed out of that. Oh, man, this GTD Pro battle. Injected into my veins. And we're going to have a GTP coming through that battle, I think, here in a sec. The 10. But what was I say? Indy. Hoping to go to Indy. Yeah, I don't have anything booked for Indy yet, but I should be going to Indy. Some weekends just don't work out timing-wise, but yeah. I mean, hey, both WRT and WTR got penalized so far today. There you go. Oh, yeah, Eagle Racer, I missed this. I hate WRT and WTR team names. IMSA is WTR, WRT is WEC. Exactly. Well, you could think of it that Wayne Taylor Racing is now CWTR. Cadillac Wayne Taylor Racing. Surf Shark bot, and we're back to watching racing cars. May Ziggo kiss my behind. There you go. There you go. The explanation of penalty calls would do more clarifying than the graphic on the broadcast. Durrani and Albuquerque's title-deciding collision comes to mind when no penalty was handed out. I agree completely with that. I completely agree. Some of these, title defining or deciding lunges and things like that. Oh, BMW, or the Corvette flashing the BMW. So far, GTD Pro has been the best this year. So much fun. Yeah. And we get to watch, was it like 11 rounds of them? 10 rounds this year, is it? All but one. We get to see them everywhere but Long Beach. I wish GTD Pro would get more TV coverage. I get GTP as top dog, but GTD Pro is better racing in my opinion. I agree. GTP has had some really good racing. Let's not sell GTP too short here. But yeah, maybe some more split screen stuff would be great. I'm not gonna lie, my ideal thing would be a GT, like a prototype broadcast and a GT broadcast. I know that that's not necessarily doable for so many reasons because the costs would be so great. But man, wouldn't that be fun? I'd pay for that. Big time. Sam is trying to make it to the Glen, Petit Le Mans, and potentially VIR. Well, maybe I'll see you at the Glen, Sam. I'll definitely be doing some sort of a meetup at the Glen. So hopefully, or, you know, you'll see, I'll definitely be wandering around a lot. So hope to see you there. I really wish GTD Pro went to Long Beach still. That would be cool. That would be cool. But you know, like there's a lot of manufacturer say, I think, in like Detroit just getting a race. So yeah. So they want to have the factory Fords and the factory Corvettes in GTD Pro there. That's why GTD Pro goes to Detroit and not the GTD cars, because there's not enough space for the GT cars there, or for all of them. Same thing with Long Beach, I think, actually. Remember, like, these are street circuit temporary pit roads made for, 25 or so Indy cars, right? Another full course yellow. What do we got? That's big for Wayne Taylor Racing and the number 10. Faf is 2 laps down. What happened to them? Impact at turn 17. That's Sunset. Oh! Clipped the, Interesting. Best thing to do. I was away for 20 minutes. How did Wheeling get to P1? Wheeling got to P1 because of some. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a mistake you can't make. What? The number 9 had they had to come back down pit road. Did they get another black flag? They didn't get another black flag, though. Maybe they did have to come in and actually replace it. Like, they went a lap down earlier in the race. Oh, that era's done. That... Oh, my goodness. Yikes. That's not good. Yeah, I wonder, maybe Faf did have to replace that because they were on the lead lap. Oh, you know what they... Maybe they replaced it went under the last full course yellow or something too. Yeah, you know what, the 18 they might it's still very early in the race, and they might be able to replace that, like the suspension on that, but they're probably going to be down for an hour, a good hour or so. But mind you, they're also going to have to replace the windshield. Tractor's getting a lot of laps in. I think that Tractor's probably run more laps this race than the Lamborghini ran at Daytona. What did I miss here? Yeah, so when in that full course yellow, Whelan got to the front. There was a pit light incident. Like, there was some sort of mess up with the pit road entry lights, and Acura and Porsche kind of got like messed up as a result of it. So they kind of got screwed a bit. And yeah, and the 31 had a wicked restart after the Lamborghini got a bad call from their pit stall, from their pit box on when the green flag actually came out, because Lamborghini was bringing us back to green, and Grosjean didn't go because they didn't tell him that it was green. Avoided a big accident, thankfully, but yeah, not ideal. So, where else were we? I left right as the full course yellow was called. Yeah. Yes, the Cadillac did get penalized. Wayne Taylor Racing did get penalized, Sam. I think Laguna Seca is a good spot to have split prototype and GT races, just like Imsa used to do in the early 90s, with regularity. Yeah. Yeah, you could have that. It's an idea. But I think some of the problems that we're starting to see too is like the paddock sizes. Like the paddock might not be able to hold everybody either, right? Like some of these paddocks are definitely limited in the size, like how large they can be, like how many cars can be there. Honestly, like Road Atlanta, last year, for this past year's race, they had to make some adjustments to be able to fit all of the haulers in the paddock area there. So, like there are a lot of factors. There are a lot of factors in some of this. Hashtag build more paddocks. Exactly. Build more paddocks. Okay, we talked. 9 had a faulty torque sensor. Yeah, I think that FAF is still 2 laps down. They did box. They came in under green, so they had something going on. Although that may have been a regular. No, that wouldn't have been a regular pit stop. They wouldn't have lost 2 laps. They'll get another lap back here, I think, because this should be a full course yellow. I think. No. We went back racing at 11:22 a.m. Full course yellow at 11:36. That's 14 minutes of green. Full course yellow. They ruled it a short yellow. So, yeah. Forklift off. Wait. Era Motorsports is missing Connor Zilic right now. Yeah. Yep. You're always gonna be missing Zilic for sure. Era looks like the put me back in coach car from Cars 1. Yeah. I can still race! Or whatever that line is. Forklift operators busy. Detroit should be GT only race. I am not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. I'm gonna... I'm not a big fan of the Detroit race. I haven't been. I'm like I said, probably going this year. Um, but yeah, that track is just not a good one. It's they could do way better than that. But whatever. Manufacturers have big say in it, so was a mistake or something else happening to Luca's car? I think it's probably just a mistake. Tobias doesn't have a ton of experience in these LMP2s. Like, realistically, less than a year. I think it was probably just a mistake. Looked like just carried too much speed. Caddy would never let it be GT only. Yeah, you could be right. They would have a big say in that for sure. Good day to be a Caddy fan so far. You're right. It is a good day to be a Caddy fan. Leading so far, still very early. They should go back to the old Grand Prix track layout. Are you saying the one that Formula One raced on downtown in, like, was it the 80s? Like that 80s downtown circuit? The problem is like it's an area that's not really great for a street track because it's also narrow through there. And also, we don't know what's the GM, what's the old headquarters called? Is it like the Renaissance Center or something in downtown Detroit that GM is actually moving out of? Like, what's going to happen to that building? Like, that track was kind of centered around that. Like having that as a very prominent, like, landmark around it. If GM isn't there anymore, then, like, what's really keeping the race on that current layout? Class split is ongoing. Everybody enjoying the race so far? It certainly hasn't been, there certainly hasn't been a lack of action. No lack of full course yellows or anything. Which is unfortunate. We're not really getting a good rhythm going, are we? Let's see. When was the last full course yellow? Hour 1. Oh, no, it doesn't have the flags analysis on timing. This is what, our third full course yellow, I think? Because we had the Triarc. We had one very early on. We had the 18 Era Motorsport that was involved in that incident earlier. That was a full course yellow. Have we only had is this our third or is this our fourth? I think it might be our third. I think this is our third. Yeah, the current track is part of the old layout. Okay, yeah. We should be going back green soon. Pits open? Did they... Pit open all cars. I guess... They usually don't open the pits during a short yellow, though. I guess they just open the pits on that last lap before green anyway. All right, let's hope that the Cadillac gets the call that we've gone back green. Oh, buddy, here we go. We're back green. The 31 got a nice jump. Oh, the BMW looking up the inside. Whoo-hoo. Couldn't hold it. Just like last year, lots of early yellows. Oh, and BMW going for the lead. Or did BMW start in the lead? No, yeah, Rexy got jumped. Got leapfrogged. That BMW is like, I'm in danger with these Corvettes behind him. Yeah, hopefully we can settle in for a nice green flag run here. Let some strategy play out. Actually, you know what? That's not in my best interest right now, being a FAF fan who are 2 laps down, but they could get those laps back later on. Yeah, Rexy had the lead. Yeah, I'd like to see a run, like a longer run kind of play out here, so we get an idea who really has some long run pace. Although at the end of this you do want to have short run pace. Because we know there's going to be some late full course yellows. We're going to have lots of late yellows. Let's see here. No, we're just seeing a replay of the Acura going wide. I was like, oh, what are we seeing a replay of here? So we're only 2 cars down to start the race. What are our fastest laps looking like here? The Aston Martin has shown like appropriate pace. Like, what happened to Proton just got passed. That's what it was. But Aston Martin hasn't looked they've looked better than Lamborghini maybe did in this race last year. Like, I don't think any of us are expecting Aston to be really podium contenders, but they've looked solid in the. I mean, it's been a heavily interrupted first couple hours, but they've looked pretty strong. They've looked strong enough. car 24 off at turn 3 and continued. So the 24 went wide in turn 3, but they didn't really lose many spots. Like, that's... yeah. Huh. Although I wonder if timing has updated yet. They may have fallen back a little bit. JDC kicking around there too. JDC running in 7th. Okay, now we're seeing the results update here. Yeah, so the 24 did go off track and lost like 6 spots. Oh, they're all the way back last in GTP. Well, except for the Wayne Taylor Racing entry. I wonder if they're able to get a replay of that BMW going off. Yeah, the 24 is behind the Lamborghini. They're behind, yeah, behind the Lamborghini, and the Lamborghini's behind the Aston Martin. Man, if you're Lamborghini and you're running behind a car that's it's its first race in Imsa, that's rough. Oh no, the 45 is around. No damage though, that's good. Oh, Graham Doyle. That is the amateur driver. What a weird spin. Did I just hear fireworks on the Imsa TV stream? Oh my goodness, the emojis. The freaking emojis on YouTube take forever to load. That's unfortunate for the 45. They were already... oh, they got back on the lead lap. That's right. Oh! Who is in... it's still Gar Robinson in the 74. Oh! And there goes Spike. That's a full course yellow, ladies and gentlemen. This one will be a full yellow. So is this number 4 for the full course yellow? Yeah, PJ's going. He's going to try and bring that back. Oh, boy. I think I see what happened here. Oh, the 52 got into the 99. Woo! That 52 got lucky. And then it must have been a... it must have been a solidarity spin. Oh, no. Then they were 3 wide. And then what happened here? Oh, man, that's gotta be frustrating if you're Gar. Like, you just get driven into from guy getting loose. More laps for the tractor, exactly. Can we get a timing and scoring beacon on the tractor, please? Tractor MVP. Okay, so they can replace the back of those LMP2 cars very easily. So that'll be fine. Are I guess the LMP2, some of them were getting ready for a pit stop. I just did my roll up, guys. So the whole point of roll up the rim, if you're not from Canada, we get to roll up the rim and see if we, win a prize. I didn't win again. It sucks. I'm not winning a Volkswagen van, I guess, today. Tractor is getting full pit service after this stint. Honestly, that tractor is going to need to be refueled pretty soon. Hopefully no mechanical damage on the 99. It wasn't that hard of a hit. I guess you just have to be careful because the gearbox is back there, right? But it didn't look like it was hard enough to really do anything. So we're probably... I think we're probably going to see most of the GT cars box. Wait, when AO Racing was in the pits? The 70 or the... How did Rexy make it into the pits? Like, they must have come in during a closed pit. Or were they in the pits when this came out? Spike turned into the wingless Peugeot. Peugeot? I don't remember how to pronounce it, guys. I don't know if... Are we going to see these... Are we going to see the GTPs in? I'm looking at the... I'm looking at their... Whatchamacallit here? Their telemetry, and they all have, like... They're all, like, 50%. What am I looking for here? Window capture. Properties. I want GTP telemetry. I should be able to show this. I have the... No, wrong button. No, wrong button. What? I should be able to. Is it Alt? There we go. You can see this. I posted the link in the chat earlier. Oh, we got prototype pit stops. So yeah, you can see most of these cars are coming into the pits. So you can check out what the fuel levels are, the energy levels, sorry, for the GTP cars. Kind of handy. The 24 stayed out? The 25 staying out is an interesting move. Or a 24. A lot of the LMP2s coming into the pits as well. We're going to see we're going to see virtually the entire GTD fields come in, I think. It's been long enough. Except for Rexy. I don't know how Rexy got in. Are there some bent suspension parts? Oh yeah, doing some replacement suspension pieces at AO. Which makes sense. More full course yellows is good for the 10. You are right, as they try and get some of their laps back. Yeah, so they will get a wave around here. They'll only be one lap down after this. I don't know. Oh, Wayne Taylor Racing, that 10 car stayed out. So yeah, they're going to take the wave around. They were last on pit road, according to the little ticker here, 36 minutes ago. That may be very small for you guys watching on YouTube or something. But yeah, so they'll take the wave around. They'll only be one lap down. Faf also stayed out, but are they ahead? Oh yeah, Faf is staying out, pardon me. So the only car that should be staying out in the GTD Pro is AO. I don't know how Rexy got into the pits. Like they had to literally have come down pit road and been on pit road as that full course yellow came out. But I don't know. It seems a little weird. But as long as Faf stayed out, so Faf will be ahead of AO Racing. Faf is also going to get a wave around. So that means they should only be a lap down. So Rexy's going to lead in GTD Pro, I think. Actually, 65. Why did the Ford stayed out? But Ford is... It's been 53 minutes since they were last down pit road. I don't know. Spike's damage looks bad. Maybe just some bent rear suspension. It didn't go in that hard, though, right? Like... so we do have incident involving cars 99 and 52 under review. That's Spike and the PR1 car. So I think we can probably assume that PR1 Matheson probably going to get a penalty for that. And then the 88 and the 74. The 88 they got loose and made contact with the 74. I think that's is probably a drive-through penalty. Probably a drive-through penalty. You could maybe argue it's a racing incident, but at the end of the day, like the driver getting loose on their own is kind of the driver's fault. So I want to see how this lap cycles through. Like where's Faf in relation to the 65? Yeah. man. Yeah, nobody really knows how Rexy got into the pits. It checks out. Okay, so Faf is pitting now. So I guess Faf must have not got the wave around. Because the 65 stayed out. There's a reason for me to dislike the Mustang. My gosh, the track is packed. It is packed. I just don't know why the 65 didn't box. Oh, and the 24 also pitted. Yeah, it was weird that they stayed out as well. Maybe it was in an effort to keep Wayne Taylor racing like a lap down still, but or a couple laps down. It just doesn't make sense. Although I don't know why you would sacrifice all your track position for that, unless if you were at the back of the class anyways. Which the 24 is the 24 the one that went off earlier? I think the 24 might have been right at the 24 off at turn 3 and continued. So they were right at the back of the GTP class. I mean, maybe they wanted to play a little bit of strategy there and try and keep Wayne Taylor racing 2 laps down. Oh, we got Sam Baker in the chat now. Sam was racing in the Pilot Challenge race yesterday, and you guys had a pretty good run. If I mean, I watched the race. Did you guys cross the line in 4th? No, you guys had a late pit stop, right? I think you had a late race pit stop. A 6th place finish. Nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, I think you guys had a late race pit stop yesterday that you needed to make. Era's still in the garage. Well, I wonder if they've officially been retired. It looks like AO Racing is back out on track. Spike is back out on track. And they would be 2 laps down. Two laps down. So opening first 2 hours of the race. Yeah, we had to box from P3 for a splash. That sucks. Kind of surprising that we didn't see a full course yellow yesterday at all. And then we in a 2-hour race, and we've had 2 hours of running here, and this is what, full course yellow number 4, 4 in 2 hours. But at least we're back to green now. At least we're back to green now. I mean, we've seen this 31 Cadillac ahead at Sebring before. No yellows was crazy yesterday. Yeah. I know when Aaron and I spoke, when we were talking about, how many yellows we might see. Oh, why did Corvette box? We also have some penalties too. We'll touch on that in a sec. Yeah, it was kind of like we're talking to 3 to 5 full course yellows is what we've normally seen in a 2-hour race for Pilot Challenge at Sebring, and didn't get any yesterday, which was very unusual. But we do have penalties. Spike picked up a penalty for incident responsibility with a 52. So I guess they deemed that Spike came down on the 52 in the middle of the corner and initiated contact. And then car 88, not surprisingly, picked up incident responsibility for the contact with the 74. So, Spike is going to have to serve that penalty. They're already 2 laps down. But the 88 car is definitely on the lead lap. That's the AF Corsa entry, and they'll have to come down and serve a penalty. Hello, Anthony. How's it going? Thanks for dropping in for watch a little bit of this lovely 12 hours of full course yellows with us. I think just 4 full course yellows so far. I guess I could count back here, right? Can I control F in this? Yes, I can. Yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 full course yellows so far. Not ideal. Well on our way to beating the 11 that we had last year. Good. Glad that you're enjoying the race. We haven't, I mean, for the amount of full course yellows that we've had, we haven't had too many retirements yet, that's for sure. Which is good, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, overall that's good. We don't want to see cars retiring. Just the 2 retirements. I'm kind of surprised the 88 LMP2 hasn't taken their drive-through yet. I thought that they would have wanted to get that out of the way as soon as they could. I think I'll probably be live here another hour or so, probably until the end of this stint, and then we'll wrap that up. Get to watch the opening stints of the race together is always nice. Fortunately, I won't be back to watch the end with you guys. I'll be watching the race on my phone later. We're getting a good view of the Aston Martin, the Valkyrie, on the Imsa TV stream, anyways. And that is, they're running in 10th place right now. Holding decent pace, like... Let's see what their last lap pace was. I mean, they're running like the same pace as... Oh, wait, that's elapsed time. I was like, 2-minute 10s. That seems pretty slow. Minute 52s, yeah, they're a little bit off pace from like the leaders, of course, but they're stuck in a bit of some dirtier air. Sacrilege. Oh, I'm kind of confused. So... Okay, on the timing, Faf is still 2 laps down, but the GTD cars all lost a lap to the GTD Pro cars during this last full course yellow. So... Interesting. Interesting. I don't even know what to make of that. I don't know how the... It's always weird how some of those things happen. Just kind of like weird events that all come together perfectly. Oh, the Centelar Ferrari. Is that a tire down? I wonder what happened here. It looks like maybe it's... I don't know. There's not one corner of that car that looks like it's down. Are the headlights on? Does it have power? Well, I mean, well, they're talking about on the broadcast, is it fuel? I mean, no, the entire class just pit, except for Korthoff. Korthoff and that 65 Ford, like, they're going to have to box soon. Oh, it's got to be loss of power, but can they back it up down that? You can't leave the car there, probably. Hopefully they'll be able to get that moved out of the way. They still haven't moved that back. You gotta find reverse. You know what they need for this? They need Mater. Mater's good at, like, from cars. Mater's good at, can toss his tow hook. Just pull him back a little bit, right? Be perfect. Imsa needs a Mater. That's my hot take of the race. Hot take of the race. Oh, there's the LMP2 car that boxed for their drive-through penalty. Yes. We need Mater. Man, the GTD Pro, it's going to come back down to track position at the end of this. Track position and fuel strategy for GTD Pro, because again, like, literally anybody in that class could win. Now they're talking about some spike. So spike is, like, kind of good to go. Yeah, if Ferrari doesn't get going soon, more yellow coming. Yeah, I don't think they can... Like, they're not going to want to leave that car just poking out there. But maybe they will. Like, IMSA's not going to want to just throw another full course yellow for the sake of it, obviously. But I guess it's if they deem it's a safety issue. I mean, do they just put a local yellow there? Let's see. We're going blasted again here. Yeah, the Ferrari's still sitting there. And it's not, like, tucked into the overlap at all, so they can't, like, hook up and pull it back. Ewan, I think I'm pronouncing your name right. I think we've been over this a few times. Ewan Wayne, good old, tons of big follow on X. If you're looking for your sports car related information, he's done some stuff with Daily Sports Car as well last year. Pretty sure you were covering the European Le Mans series, or no, not European Le Mans series, G2 World Challenge Europe, right? Do you have any plans on going to some races this year, or doing any more work there? I am pronouncing it right. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I remember you were doing some stuff with Daily Sports Car, because I think you were the 24 hours of Spa you were at last year, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Some of the the opportunities that some of the younger like the next generation of, I guess, like reporters, very covering the sport in various ways, sort of getting involved. Yes, GT World Challenge Europe, of course. Yeah, some good races on that calendar for sure. GT World Challenge Europe. Usually does There's only a couple races that I actually get to tune in and watch from it. If I'm kicking around the house and need something to put on. Definitely the 24 hours of Spa. Or the Spa 24. Big one. Because that's part of the European calendar, I think, right? Debris on track in turn 14. Turn 14 is that's the turn after the tower turn. Oh, what happened to Vassar Sullivan? Trouble. Well, little bit of argy bargy right there. They were kind of forcing the 48 off on the exit of the hairpin, and then the 48 cuts their nose off. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Like, I don't, I don't know if I don't think it was necessary by either of them, but I don't think you can say that the 14 is completely innocent in that either. That is going to need some fixing though. But Ego Racer, like, doing shenanigans again, yes. The the 14 made initial contact with the 48. They were on the inside, were squeezing them coming out of that corner. I think the 48s, it's within their rights. They didn't cross a line, and they kind of squeezed the 14 back, and the bodywork got caught up, sure, but I I think both of those cars are kind of a little bit guilty. And they're both on the lead lap this time. Exactly. Oh, the onboard of the Lexus sounds atrocious. Just the audio of it's being bad. I don't think the engine actually sounds like that. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. We have a nice little battle in GTD. We have a battle for the lead in GTD Pro as well. Yeah, that audio on the Lexus sounds atrocious. Like, goodness gracious. So, somebody in the Imsa chat said the front panel on the Lexus looks drunk. They spent a little bit too much time in Green Park on the infield before the race, clearly. So Chentalar is still stopped. I guess they're just not going to move that Ferrari. Guess they're just going to leave it there. What am I looking for here? Looking for the mute button so I can cough. But where did I put it? It's not that one. It is one of the orange areas, but it's not fully in the overlap is the thing, right? Like, it's, yeah, it's not, it's not, oh, they did move it. They were able to get it moved. That's good. I wonder how they did that. Or unless if it got moving again forward. Oh no, you can see it being towed. Interesting. It must have been just behind there enough. Oh no, and what happened? The 14 is slow now. Yeah, I wonder if there's a tire rub or something. Yeah, they'll replace that nose. I acknowledge, yeah, it's becoming a trend for the 48 car, sure. This is not as egregious as Daytona though. If Daytona didn't happen, then this would probably not be a huge discussion point. Right? Is that reasonable? And then Ryan, love the flex fit off in the S's hat. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, I must say. I like the hats. This is the the snapback form of it because I do like the flex fit hats, but I like them to be a little bit more fitted to my head. Which I usually like the baseball style ones where you get the one that's actually just the measurement of your head and you can't adjust it. But yeah, the hats are solid. The hats are solid. I'm glad you like it. Hopefully you'll be able to make it to a racetrack at some point and wear it there. Yeah, no Daytona, no point of discussion. We would, and then yeah, Zhang, we wouldn't talk about it. Yeah, which sucks because like that's something that is going to linger over that car for a while, right? Like the 48 and Paul Miller Racing in general is going to have that linger over. There's probably going to be a point in the season where we're not going to hopefully we're not going to see like egregious blocking or something. But even if it's a small block, we're going to be like, oh, here we go again. Paul Miller Racing's blocking. And all because of, that one big incident at the beginning of the season. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of deserved. I think that Paul Miller Racing got off pretty easy at the end of the day for all of those shenanigans. So, I don't know. We'll have to monitor that as the season goes on. There was somebody in the chat earlier that was cheering for Fred Vesti, I think. Were they from the Netherlands? I wonder, do we still have who was it? I'm looking in the chat now. It was like a 3-letter abbreviation. It's from a while ago. And they were from the Netherlands. MGK. But there might have been somebody else that was cheering for Vesti. I specifically remember that. Yeah. So Paul Miller's response wasn't any smarter with punting the number 1. Correct. Correct. Yes. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, that cost Paul Miller Racing a good finish, right? But also, there's certainly the argument there that the stuff that BMW pulled cost Corvette the win. They cost... Paul Miller response with punting the 1. Oh, Pratt Miller. Oh, sorry. God. 2. I didn't even realize before that Paul Miller and Pratt Miller. Very, very close. Yes, Pratt Miller's response not the best. Pratt Miller got taken, got a Rolex 24 arguably taken away from them. I don't want to... I thought the response was justified. I would be interested to hear what the discussions were in race control coming out of that race or during that race. You know, if there were considering like a severe penalty, because it was an let's call it for what it was. It was an intentional wreck. That was it. The number 3, I think, whichever Corvette dumped the remaining Paul Miller BMW. You know, it was intentional. Let's call it what it was. But I just hope we don't see. We don't want to see that, right? Like, I don't know if I was super pleased with the lack of race control response for that. I think it would have been understandable. Like, that was egregious blocking. I mean, that Paul Miller car was so far behind. Would it have been wrong to park them? I don't know. It would certainly set a precedent that maybe you don't want to set, but I don't know. Pratt Miller, I mean, like I said, it cost that second entry a better finishing position, right? Like, if they had just let that go and maybe not intentionally dumped them like they did, maybe just a bit of a lighter bump out of the way or something, then, you know, maybe you're not talking about them getting a penalty and you're talking about them getting a couple cars on the podium, something like that. But we'll never know. It's definitely not what endurance racing is all about. Correct. I mean, okay. Should we give credit where credit is due to Aston Martin? Do we give credit where credit is due to Aston Martin so far? They're hanging in there. They're in 10th place right now, but they're ahead of the Lamborghini and they're ahead of a BMW. Now that's the 24 BMW that's been a little bit weird with their strategy calls. But still, credit where credit is due, right? Valkyrie's holding its own. You know, if Aston Martin's doing better than Qatar, you're right, at a much more challenging track for a car to go race at. Like, if Aston Martin did what Lamborghini did here last year, finishes on the lead lap and completes all the laps, that is, I mean, how you couldn't be happier walking out of here from an Aston Martin perspective. They're only 14 seconds behind. Okay, yeah, so they are a little bit behind, but they're starting to navigate through traffic now. Like, they've gone through, like they had to navigate through the GT classes, right? Since we've gone green again. So they probably just got a little bit separated in traffic. It's easy to do. I mean, we see the BMW's 18 seconds behind the leader, right? So let's go Rexy. Rexy fan in the house and Sam. Rexy had an interesting strategy as well. I don't know how they got in. They must have just got in in time. No, don't say that, Sam. We're not due for we're not due for a full course yellow. We're not due for a full course yellow. We're not due for a full course yellow for like what, another 3-4 hours? Let's see some green flag runs happen here. Green flag racing, please. A little bit scary to see the Cadillac there get a little bit dust kicking up under the tires going around the 45. Pretty impressive. There's 26,000 live viewers on the Imsa, the official live stream right now. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Yeah, we're going to have Michelin Endurance Cup points handed out. 12-hour race, so it's 4, 8, and 12. Yeah, Anthony's on Team Green Flag Racing. Yeah, not having a hybrid system will be interesting to see with a big car company instead of a boutique brand. That's true. But again, like, Aston Martin's not that big, right? Like, I wonder if they have their production numbers. production numbers. Aston Martin's, well, okay, so they targeted around 7,000 cars in 2024. They expected to deliver around 6,000. If we wanted to compare that, what's like I think a reasonable comparison would be like McLaren, right? And I know that they publicly posted their production numbers. Their production output was 2,100 units. That was in 2022, though. McLaren production numbers. Yeah, so like probably up a little bit. Maybe the mid 2000s. I guess, wait, yeah. Well, because the McLaren numbers are like 2,500 road cars a year. But they're probably not going to nickel and dime them because McLaren's production numbers were a lot higher prior to COVID. They have not bounced back from COVID. They were up closer to like 47, 4,800. Yeah, 47, 4,800 back in like 2018, 2019. But also the key thing that's probably more important than the than that, you know, hitting that production number exactly is paying the manufacturer fee. Because there's a pretty, it's not an insignificant fee that all the manufacturers pay. So, which is kind of what prevents a lot of the boutique manufacturers from joining the party. How are our battles looking? We have a good battle in GTD Pro, of course, that we're tuned into. Well, at least on the Imsa stream we are. Alessandro Piriguidi in the 21 car after they got a penalty earlier in the race, I think. Oh, no. He had a spin earlier in the race, or did they get a penalty? I don't remember. Maybe they just lost it on their own. Played the strategy game nicely to make their way back to the front. I mean, the Ferraris are solid. Like, Ferrari was good around here last year. We know the Lexus is still in the pits. They've lost 7 laps. So we're not going to see a back-to-back winner in GTD Pro. That's a tough start to the season for Vassar Sullivan. No, how did they? I don't think they had a solid Rolex. Was it them that had problems in the Rolex, or was it their GTD counterpart? Yeah, the 14 finished 11th, 19 laps down. So that's not a great start to the season for Lexus. Not a good start to the season at all. Era Motorsports is done for the race, it sounds like. They're breaking down the pit box, which is never a good thing. Oh, that's actually really disappointing because we never got to see Ota in the car. And he's supposed to run 2 races in LMP2 this year. That sucks. A little battle here between Porsche and BMW and GTP. I think we're going to be... We're not due for pit stop. Well, we're getting kind of close to pit stops, I think. Oh, we got the dog stopping in. Okay, okay. Dog attack. Puppy, you took out my headphone. Hmm? Hmm? You want to watch some racing? Whoa! Uh-oh. Okay, okay, okay. Big fan of usually if I'm watching the race up in the living room or something, she likes to sit down and watch the cars out on track. Hmm? Oftentimes if I'm editing a video or something too, she'll come up and snooze on me, take a nap. But is definitely a little bit excited. Thankfully, right now, she hasn't popped up if I've been doing like a sim race or anything. Sometimes she wants to, but usually knows. Usually knows. Okay, so the 88, yeah, okay, so we're seeing pit stops in LMP2 right now. That makes sense. They can usually go like 40 to 45 minutes on a stint. What are you doing? Are you staying here? Is Gar Robinson must not still be in that car. He's still in the car. He's doing a... I guess there's been so much full course yellow. They're just trying to get all of the bronze driver running out of the way, like right off the bat. Because George Kurtz is also still in that car. You guys see that the cover beat the Mustang. Maybe is there... Do you mean to say cover there, Anthony? See that the cover beat the Mustang. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know if I'm following what you're saying, Anthony. I'll be completely honest. Yeah, try and get all that bronze driver running before dark. I mean, there's still plenty of time to get that in before dark. Oh, your dog does that too. Yeah, like we initially noticed it. Like our dog is 3 years old, and she really started doing it. We were watching the Anthony or the Fassbender, the Michael Fassbender, like that little docu-series, and she was really interested in just like staring at the TV when there would be the car sound and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, like I didn't think that this would be something that you would be super into, but yet here you are. Ooh, some side-by-side racing here. Two cars that came together earlier in the race, the 74 and the 88. And if they come together again, I feel like they're doing a really good job of respectfully racing one another. But they have to look in the mirror and see that, hey guys, we have a competitor right behind us now. That's the 73. Gar got a little bit wide there. It's unfortunate for him. Probably wise, though. Probably wise. Good little battle there, though. LMP2. Can't sleep on LMP2. It does not get very much airtime, but you cannot sleep on it. Some dogs love racing, others like the Weather Channel. If there's squirrels on the Weather Channel, then yeah, that's that is definitely a favorite of our dog. Put some squirrels, put like a YouTube stream on or something of just squirrels, and yeah, plenty. She's occupied for hours. Yeah, it is too bad that LMP2 is just dominated by the Orca chassis because, you know, the kind of it's a bit of what could have been with the LMP2 class, but at the same time, it being a spec class, basically being a spec class, provides like there's no BOP discussion in that class, right? It's pure racing. It's pure racing. It'll be interesting to see what the next phase of LMP2 regulations brings, right? It's been it's been a long time since those regulations have been, or since those cars have been updated. The Corvette passed the Mustang. The 4 got past the 64, you're right. We are going to be seeing pit stops, though, probably in like 10 minutes. I would say in the next 10 minutes, we're going to be seeing the GTP and the GTD classes come in. We'll see in 2027. I think that the regs are going to be pushed even farther than 2027, to be honest. Those new LMP2 regulations, like, I think there has to be a little bit of concern around, like, you got to be careful you don't kill the class, right? You have to be very, very cost sensitive with those cars. And yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they navigate that. Yeah, talk of a hybrid system. Like, even if it's a spec hybrid system, that escalates costs so much, right? It's a little bit, I don't know. I don't know how you approach that from a governing body's perspective. Like, it's certainly a decision I am glad that I don't have to make, right? Because you can only have these cars go for so long. But then it's also such a successful class worldwide that it just kind of works, right? It just kind of works. So Oh, look at those two chrome Wayne Taylor racing cars. Chrome Dex imaging cars. Vassar Sullivan is still in the pits. Chentalar Racing has not returned. We know Era Motorsports has retired. It looks like the 023 Triarc is probably also going to be retired. Looking at the energy remaining in the GTP class, we're probably like 3 laps, 3 laps away from pit stops, maybe. Which I think slots in perfectly since their last pit stops. Some of them have a little bit more, like the 10 and the 24 can go a little bit longer because they made extra stop, or they made a stop a little bit later than the rest of the class. But the Aston Martin is almost out. They have 5% energy. Yeah, I think once we see the Aston come in, we're going to see the others come in shortly after. Aston's down to running 12th now in class. But they're still running. They're still running. Are they pitting? No, they're just quite a ways behind the leaders. Oh, the Aston is pitting. So the first GTP class car is making their pit stops. So yeah, we're probably looking like another lap or 2 at most. 2 laps at most. Maybe the Porsches, the 2 factory Porsches are probably going to be the next ones in. Maybe the 40 Cadillac as well. Hypercar's been extended to 2029, yes, and it sounds like they're going to be extended even further. It sounds like I think it was on the Weekend Sports Cars podcast this week that has Marshall Pruitt and Graham Goodwin. I think that Graham Goodwin was a spinner in GTD right in the middle of the road. Okay, at least they got going. It sounds like we might be able to expect a further extension of those regulations, maybe to like 2030, 2031, to guarantee, a sufficient amount of time. Because apparently there's even more manufacturers. Like Graham was saying that, there's 3 or 4 that are very serious about still potentially joining. So, which would be wild. It seems like every 6 months we're getting an announcement that there's a new manufacturer that's coming. I mean, you got to think like one of those is like McLaren, right? So, I think we're gonna see the the LMDH / hypercar regulations extended further. Because again, it kind of goes back to like what I was saying with LMP2. If it's really healthy right now, you don't have to kill it. You don't have to. You don't have to make a drastic change. There's going to be natural turnover. There's probably going to be some manufacturers that drop out. Or maybe only do one championship type deal like we've seen now with Lamborghini only doing the IMSA Endurance Cup races. Oh, here we go. We got GT pit stops now starting. There's a bunch of GTPs that are in. Surprisingly, the Porsches haven't come in yet. They're at like 2% energy right now. They will be boxing this lap for sure. The 31 Cadillac can go a little bit longer. been hopefully we can develop a rhythm. This is our first full green flag stint, I think. So hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the next few hours. Yeah, we're gonna let this cycle of green flag stops cycle through, and then that'll probably call it for me. It's been a good over 3 hours now, which is about what I was looking to do. I like the rules, really good. Might tweak mins and maxes. Mins and maxes, how so, Eagle Racer? Like minimum car numbers or yeah, I guess what do you mean tweak the mins and maxes? Yeah, hopefully this is the first of many green flag pit cycles. I like when these IMSA races have a bit of variety in them, though. Like Petit Le Mans last year, I enjoyed for the most part. Especially that really long green flag run that we got. You really got to see some strategy play out, which you love. When there's like a full course yellow every hour or every 45 minutes, like it kind of sucks. Want to see some strategy develop and over some longer runs. So who do we still have? We still have a bunch of GT pit stops to cycle through, which makes sense. Rexy was a little bit off strategy because I think that they boxed just before the last full course yellow came out. Oh, drag coefficients and fuel and hybrid use. I gotcha. Oh, and there goes the 88 around, or 52 around. Oh, man. Was the 45 okay out of that? The 45 has had some unfortunate stuff happen. Like, yeah, 45 continued. So the 45 had a solidarity spin, a spin out of solidarity. And it's Danny Formal. They just boxed. Formal is in that car now. Okay, here's the rest of the GTPs. Still have a ton of GT pit stops to come, though. That Wayne Taylor Racing Lamborghini is having a rough weekend for sure. Formal wrecked that car in practice. They were able to get that repaired. Again, you can't rule them out, though, right? We still have 9 hours of this race to go. So, 9 hours of racing is a long ways to go. So I think we can expect them to hopefully, make a bit of a charge back. They have like Formal is quick. Who's their other car that had Trent Hinman? Yes, Trent Hinman is, we know that Trent Hinman's a good driver. He'll do a good job of finishing the race off. It looks like Graham probably got a couple hours under his belt there, so maybe only has one more stint that he has left to do. Maybe an hour and a half. That 24 BMW's got to be coming down pits this time by. They have 2% energy left. Anything can happen, exactly. Especially in the GTD class. Like, you have a quick driver, there you go. We're seeing the LMP2 classes be pretty strategic about their driver time. Um, Being pretty strategic about that. Like a lot of them have only had their AM drivers in the car. Like the 74 Riley, they've only had Gar Robinson in for this entire. Like this is Gar Robinson's last stint. He has about 20-25 minutes left in that car. And then he'll have completed his minimum drive time, which is 3 hours. We're about to pass that in 1 minute. I don't think that there's any GTD cars that have had their AM driver in for the entire race, or like their bronze driver. But we're seeing that in the LMP2 class. George Kurtz is another one. Has the 88 done that? It's hard to tell because they have two Perez Companks in that entry. No, Nick Boule's not in there. Hunter McElray. No, Stephen Thomas is the AM in that car. So yeah, it looks like the 04 and the 74. George Kurtz, Gar Robinson, they're very experienced, especially in Imsa competition. It's not surprising that we see them go in for a 3-hour stint, especially with the full course yellows that we saw. Like, if they're feeling good, it is hot out there, but if they're feeling good, they're not having super long extended runs of green, then it kind of made sense to just hold them out, keep them out there, let them get that bronze driver time out of the way, and then turn it over to the pros for the rest. Oh, another spin. So we've crossed over the 3-hour mark. So this is probably about time to wrap it up. This is always fun. It's I hope to do some more of these as the season goes on. Not going to be around for the Road America race or Petite. Although I don't know, I might be around for Petite actually. We'll see. We might be able to. I don't remember. I'll have to check the calendar. I know I'm not going to Petite this year, but no CTMP. So maybe some Laguna Seca Watchalong, some Long Beach Watchalong. Want to do some more of these, especially for the races that not able to be at in person, and I'm available. So hopefully we'll be able to do some of that. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of this 12 hours of Sebring. It looks like we've settled into a bit of a groove, which is nice to see. There'll be plenty of videos coming out this week. We'll have like a post-race report, talk about everything that I'll post the link for you, Jackson. It's just the IMSA live timing. It's on Alcamel is what it's called. This is like the official live timing that IMSA uses. So you have everything, all the running order. There's a mini map there. If you play around with it, you can get that. It has all the race control stuff. The 14 Vassar Sullivan Lexus is back from behind the wall, back in the race. Maybe they can pick up a position or two over the course of this one. But yeah, there'll be plenty of content from me this coming week in a follow up to the race. I'm going to talk about the 2026 schedule that just got released. So we'll have a video out on that. Post race recap and the rest of an interview that I did with Sally Mott, MX5 Cup driver, and the new First to the Finish Amazon Prime series that's going to be coming out, where she is a featured driver in that. So we had a good conversation, a fun conversation with Sally. So plenty of stuff to keep you occupied throughout the week, and of course in the lead up to Long Beach is our next round, if I am not mistaken. Long Beach, right? Long Beach first and then Laguna. It is Long Beach, April 11th and 12th. So about a month from now. So with that, a big thank you for everybody tuning in here today. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the race, and we'll talk to you all very soon.